My brother committed arson for revenge. So my older brother and I have a weird love/hate relationship since we were young. He was 4 when I was born, and I think when we were younger he resented me taking away his only child status. Fast forward to me starting school at year 1 and him being in year 5 in our small hometown. It wasn't too bad, except he was suspicious of our principal. After a certain incident involving our cousin who was in his class, he became more protective of me. I didn't notice anything at the time, but my family noticed I had slowly stopped showing interest in school. I stopped wanting to go anymore and I got sick a lot. The next year we moved to the big city and I started year 2. School was okay, but they noticed I had gotten more shy and introverted than I usually was. But they didn't think much of it either. Fast forward again, I am in year 4 when I start getting weird flashbacks and dreams. And that's when it hit me. I was essayed by the principal as a year 1 student. The memories were so disturbing I'd wake up crying. I told my mother, who was livid, but by then, the teacher had left the school and there was no evidence. This was the early 2000s in a small town in the back of beyond. I don't blame my mother for not doing anything, she didn't know what to do. So I let it go. My brother, who was starting high school at the time, overheard everything. The incident with our cousin, she said she was dating the principal, and when her parents came to school he played it off like she had a crush on him when he had been grooming her the whole time. There was no evidence denying or confirming anything, so they let it go, but my brother never trusted that man again. But sadly he didn't realize that by this time, he had already started to groom me. My brother was pissed and went straight to this man's house. There was no one home. So he lit a match and set that man's house on fire. His wife and kids had already left him, so I think he was on the verge of a mental breakdown. Seeing his home in flames was the straw that broke the camel's back. He was admitted to a mental hospital and is now nonverbal. My brother confessed this to me 3 years ago while we were drinking. For all our ups and downs, I knew that man would have my back, and I felt proud of the fact that in a way, I got revenge. And obviously, since he did commit a crime, I can't tell anyone about it, but I thought he still needs veneration for what he did. I have worked through a lot of my trauma, not to say I still don't get triggered every now and then, but I have my siblings and a wonderful loving partner who are always there for me. I hate when women just text me hey. Like seriously, if you're going to text me, at least put some effort into it. Especially after you turned me down. Are you interested in me or not? Believe it or not, when you turn a guy down, although he's happy to still be friends, he doesn't want you bothering him every day with hey. It's one thing if you have a reason to text, that's part of being friends, sure, but to just send hey? Friends don't normally do that, at least none of my other friends do. Or am I wrong in thinking that guy-girl friendships don't normally do that? I figured if she turned me down, saying she's not ready for a relationship, then texting her would be an annoyance. That's why I don't go out of my way to text her. I'm surprised she doesn't think the same. I took a poop in the parking lot of my boyfriend's workplace. Okay, hear me out. My boyfriend works evening shift, and with the time change it gets dark at like 5:30 p.m. now. I surprise him sometimes with food on his lunch break. My belly had been acting up earlier that day, because I'm lactose intolerant and thought eating ice cream was a good idea. It wasn't, so I'm waiting in the parking lot for him to go on break and my belly starts betraying me. It literally feels like I'm going into labor. I have nowhere to go. So I pulled into the darkest part of the parking lot and took a massive poop. I wish I was joking. It was right next to a minivan, but I couldn't care at the time. So by this point I'm like, I can't let him know I was even there, because it would be a dead giveaway who it was. I took whatever dignity I had left, got in my vehicle, and just headed home without even giving him the sushi I got for him. The next day, his co-worker and his wife comes over for some beers, and his co-worker is like, yeah, someone took a massive poop in the parking lot next to Gary's van and Stanley stepped in it. I was like, what? No way? Who would have done that? Are you sure it was a human? And my BF is like, no, it was definitely a human, but I laughed my ass off when Stanley said he stepped in it. What did they even wipe with? His co-worker says I don't know, but whoever it was didn't hold back. It took everything in me not to bust out laughing. I must have been convincing, because neither of them seemed to be onto me. But I swear I'm cracking up even typing this out. I didn't have anyone else to tell this to, except for my cousin, and she got a laugh out of it. I wish I was lying, I really do. I have probably the stupidest fetish ever. I'm 26 years old and I make around 5k a month, but I use like 2k monthly just to send money to girls. Now here is the weird part, if I find a girl that I like, I just ask her if I can send her money for nothing in return. Just the fact that I know I probably could fund her life makes me horny, and some of them are rude to me and or demand more money, and I just go like a bitch and send them. Plus I sometimes have to do all their college homework and pay them to do it. I know I'm stupid, but I love this. I love my kid, but I hate being a parent. I'm lazy and I hate confrontation. I grew up in a constantly abusive and chaotic environment, and all I want now is peace, quiet and calm. My son is adopted, has mental health issues, and has a lot in common with my abusers in the way he deceives and twists things in order to get his way. I love him, even at his worst, but it's so hard. And so tiring. I just want to be able to throw my hands up and say do whatever you want even if it's a bad idea or harmful. I can't care anymore. I'm so exhausted. I managed to get to a good place as an adult, but having a kid has sent me right back into the worst places, and every time I'm getting better there's a new drama to deal with, a new complication, a new issue. I'm so tired. And I know that there's a chance he'll never stabilize and this will be the rest of my life. I fantasize about being someone else. About his bio parent coming back and taking him away. I even fantasize about getting sick so I can be the one to be taken care of. Problem is I do love my kid and I just can't let him suffer without trying to help, even though every moment of every day I just wish I could be someone else, somewhere else, doing anything else but this.